Italy is one of the most desired retirement destinations in Europe, known for its culture, cuisine, history, and lifestyle. But the key question is whether daily life in Italy truly works on a fixed monthly income of $2,000. Many retirees are drawn to Italy because it represents a high quality of life. Yet quality and affordability are not always aligned, especially when retirement income does not adjust easily to rising costs. At first glance, Italy appears more affordable than some Western European countries, but costs vary dramatically depending on region, lifestyle, and long-term financial stability. Retirement planning requires a realistic and long-term perspective, because short-term impressions often fail to capture the true cost of everyday living over many years. With a fixed monthly budget of $2,000, careful planning is essential to avoid financial pressure later in retirement. To understand whether Italy works on this budget, each major expense category must be examined carefully and conservatively. This analysis focuses on long-term living rather than vacation-style spending or short-term stays that underestimate ongoing costs. Italy offers enormous regional diversity, which means affordability depends heavily on where retirees choose to settle. Northern regions, central cities, and rural southern areas all present very different cost structures. We begin with housing, because rent is usually the largest and least flexible expense in retirement. Housing costs in Italy vary widely based on region, city size, and proximity to popular tourist areas. In major cities such as Rome, Milan, or Florence, renting a modest one-bedroom apartment outside the city center often costs between $800 and $1,100 per month. Even in less central neighborhoods, strong demand keeps prices elevated and availability limited. In smaller cities and towns, particularly in southern Italy, rents are significantly lower. In these areas, a one-bedroom apartment may cost between $400 and $650 per month. Lower housing costs often come with trade-offs related to infrastructure, transportation, and access to services. Older buildings are common and may lack insulation, modern heating systems, or energy efficiency. As a result, total housing-related costs may exceed rent alone. For this analysis, a housing budget of $800 per month reflects a balanced compromise between comfort and affordability. This assumption allows for livable conditions without relying on extreme cost-cutting. Utilities are another important expense that retirees must account for when planning long-term living in Italy. Monthly utility costs, including electricity, water, gas, internet, and mobile service, typically range from $150 to $200. Electricity costs can increase during summer due to air conditioning usage, especially in warmer regions. Heating costs in winter depend heavily on building age and energy efficiency. For budgeting purposes, a realistic monthly average of $170 is appropriate. Food costs are often considered one of Italy's most attractive features for retirees. Grocery expenses for one person typically range from $250 to $350 per month. Local markets offer fresh produce at reasonable prices, while imported items and specialty goods cost more. Eating out is affordable compared to many countries, but frequent restaurant meals can still strain a fixed budget. A balanced food budget of $300 allows for home cooking and occasional dining out. Healthcare is one of the most critical considerations for retirees evaluating Italy. Italy offers a public healthcare system that provides broad coverage and relatively low out-of-pocket costs for residents. However, access to specialists and wait times can vary significantly by region. Many retirees choose supplemental private healthcare to improve access and convenience. Private healthcare costs often range from $100 to $200 per month, depending on coverage. For this analysis, a healthcare budget of $150 per month reflects reasonable private access. Transportation costs depend largely on whether retirees live in urban or rural areas. In cities, public transportation is widely available and often costs less than $50 per month. In smaller towns, car ownership may be necessary, increasing fuel, insurance, and maintenance costs. A transportation budget of $70 per month reflects moderate usage and occasional travel. Stability and inflation play a major role in determining whether Italy remains affordable over time. Italy has experienced moderate inflation, with higher increases in housing and utilities in recent years. Retirees on fixed incomes must plan for rising costs without assuming long-term price stability. Regional diversity can help manage inflation, as smaller towns often experience slower price growth. Maintaining a monthly buffer is essential for long-term financial resilience. Lifestyle factors strongly influence whether Italy feels sustainable on a $2,000 monthly budget. Italy offers rich culture, social interaction, walkable towns, and strong food traditions that appeal to many retirees. However, bureaucracy, language barriers, and regional differences can affect daily comfort. Social integration may take time, especially in smaller communities. Lifestyle satisfaction depends heavily on aligning expectations with local realities. When all major categories are combined, total monthly expenses in Italy often range from $1,800 to $1,900. This leaves a modest margin for unexpected costs, travel, or inflation-related increases. Italy can work on a $2,000 budget, but only with thoughtful location choices and disciplined spending. Urban living offers convenience but reduces margin, while smaller towns improve affordability with trade-offs. Understanding these trade-offs is essential before committing to retirement in Italy. Retiring in Italy is less about finding the cheapest option and more about balancing cost, culture, and long-term stability. A realistic budget, conservative assumptions, and flexibility improve retirement outcomes. Italy rewards retirees who value lifestyle, routine, and community over luxury spending. With careful planning, $2,000 per month can support a stable and fulfilling retirement. The real numbers show that Italy is possible on this budget, but success depends on realistic expectations and long-term financial discipline.